Hey, my beautiful saucy. So I wanted to get on here and talk about this beautiful exotical, Amanda Stenback, who is playing Princess Amari in the fictional, and I do want to emphasize fictional, story of Children of Blood and Bone. I guess it's based on a fictional place in Africa where most of the people in the movie are unambiguous, dark-skinned people. Now, I did manage to read the synopsis of the book because prior to this whole backlash that Amanda's getting, I didn't know anything about the novel. It sounds pretty interesting. It sounds like a really good book. But I wanted to get more or less into the backlash that Amanda's receiving as a person, as an actress. She's receiving backlash because she is a character in the film and she's biracial. That is the basis of the backlash that she's getting. And people are basically saying that she should have turned down the role because the role calls for an unambiguous dark-skinned black person, and Amanda herself is biracial. So Amanda is being accused of essentially replacing unambiguous dark-skinned actors and actresses who could have had the role and who fit the phenotype of what the characters called for, or basically what people believe the phenotype of her character should be, which is most likely unambiguous dark skin, a black woman, instead of a biracial woman. So that is why she's getting the backlash, because they're saying that, Amanda does have a history of calling out different people who are benefiting from black culture. And so people are saying that basically Amanda understands racism, but she doesn't understand colorism. So because Amanda has a history of standing on her black activist or social activism soapbox in the past to call out racism, she is practicing colorism by taking the role. And she was supposed to turn down that role like she did, with the film Black Panther. So what they're saying is it is basically a part of her social activism to turn down roles and only compete for roles that call for strictly biracial roles. That is what the black community is trying to relegate Amanda to, as well as other biracial and light-skinned people. However, this is very hypocritical, and you know me, I like calling out the hypocrisy of Blackistan, because the rules that the black community likes to set for light-skinned and mixed and biracial people, they don't feel that those same rules apply to themselves. They feel as though Amanda is supposed to only compete, just like other MLS people, only compete for roles that calls for a biracial person. Meanwhile, unambiguous dark-skinned black people can portray whoever and, whatever role they choose. These are the actor and actress that played Emmett Till and his mom. This is the young actor again. I'm quite sure he did a phenomenal job. Very handsome young man. I'm sure he did a great job playing Emmett Till. I'm sure he did just fine capturing Emmett's essence, as well as Angela Bassett when she played the part of Rosa Parks, and Denzel Washington when he played the role of Malcolm X. They did a phenomenal job. I love Angela. I love Denzel. This is Leah Chase. This is the chef / activist that The Princess and the Frog was based on, and this is the version that Disney depicted to be Leah Chase, which is definitely a significantly darker skinned, unambiguous black woman to play that role. But when that happens, it's like radio silence. You don't hear anything from the black community as far as those things go. All kinds of excuses are made when people call this shit out. It's, oh, well, it doesn't matter. The complexion and, the actor and the person that they portrayed in the film have a shared history, and so as long as African Americans, one African American is playing the role of another African American, what difference does it make? They have a shared history, and it's based rooted in slavery, and it doesn't matter the complexion and all these kinds of things, all these different excuses and all these different attempts to move the goalpost, because MLS people are talking about, well, you play roles that are of actual real people who were actually really MLS people, mixed and light-skinned people who were biracial, like a Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, Nat Turner. Nat Turner was played by an unambiguous dark-skinned black man in, I think, a CBS or ABC movie, and his description is a light-complected black man. But somehow it's not colorism, somehow it's not blackwashing, somehow it's not replacing MLS actors and actresses, somehow it's not colorism. It's only that way when there's an MLS person portraying a role that is perceived to be an unambiguous dark-skinned black person. So I feel as though if Amandla Stenback has no business playing a part in the Black Panther movie, which is fictional, or the children of this novel, I forgot the title, she has no business playing that. That's also a fictional story, her latest movie that she's getting the backlash from. If she has no business playing those roles because they're the roles of unambiguous dark-skinned black people, then guess what? Angela Bassett had no business playing Rosa Parks. Denzel had no business playing Malcolm X. It's as plain and simple. And this is not my thought process. This is not MLS people in general. This is not our thought process. This is the thought process of Blackistan, of black people, because black people are the only ones complaining about being replaced by MLS people. And they are no different than those white people that were mad that there was a black girl playing Annie, or that Halle Bailey played Ariel. They are no different. They sound just the same. They sound like those white people who are saying, well, that's not my Ariel, that's not my Annie, she's black, she has no business playing that. That role was for a white girl. That was always played by a white girl. So do you see the double standards? Do you see the hypocrisy there? You know, all Annie and Ariel are fictional characters, and that was the excuse of Blackistan telling white people, well, don't get mad about that. Annie's fictional. Ariel's fictional. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But all of a sudden, this fictional story now Complexion matters. This is a picture of Malcolm X's actual real parents. Look at the father. Remember what complexion the father was in the film that Denzel portrayed Malcolm in? He was an unambiguous, dark-skinned black man. See how, it's just, like the hits just keep coming. It's like the black community can dish it out all day long and they can't take it. It's like, and all of these storylines are fictional, and they forget that people that look like Amandla Stenback, people that look like Malcolm X, people that look like Rosa Parks furthered the plight of the African American community. And MLS people were all well and good then, because MLS people, back then they called biracial people mulattoes, which is a derogatory term. So biracial people, mixed and light skinned, multi-generationally mixed people, and Creoles. They were in the black community from day one, and they fought and struggled and dealt with racism the same. And even though MLS people did play different roles in the institution of slavery, that may be true, struggle is struggle, humiliation is the same, the racism is the same, and if it was not equally degrading and dehumanizing, then I'll ask again. I asked in my previous video, I'll ask again. How is it that MLS activists like Elijah Muhammad, Frederick Douglass, Malcolm X, Farrakhan, all of these MLS people who were activists, Rosa Parks, how could they articulate their abolitionist views and their activism views and articulate the social justice injustices of being black in America? How could they articulate that so well if they were not subjected to it? Because it is not white people that were filling the mosques and the stadiums and the street corners to listen to Malcolm X and Farrakhan and all of these black activists to discuss or to speak out about the injustices that black people face in the United States. It was not white people that were paying money to hear them speak. Even if they were not actually paying money, they were gathering, taking time out of their day to gather to hear this, because and it resonated with a lot of black people regardless of what the complexion was. So it is unambiguous dark-skinned black people that are holding this L. You guys are starting complexion wars and internalized, like internal fighting between MLS people and unambiguous dark-skinned black people. You're starting those those fights and those wars based on nothing. It's just indiscriminately fighting each other. It's not based on anything that one person has done. Yeah, I know colorism exists, and it's certainly a serious topic that should be discussed in a very serious way. It should be taken seriously, and it should be given the respect that it deserves. But everything is not colorism. Amandla has the right to audition for whatever role she wants. She has the right to take whatever role she wants. She is an actress at the end of the day, and she owes nobody nothing. And see, this is hopefully a lesson for her, because as far as like being a light-skinned savior and standing on her soapbox to defend a community that is not going to defend her, or to support a community that is not going to support her, just strictly based on her skin tone and her phenotype. I'm quite sure she understands colorism, but she is not practicing colorism by taking the role. She has to feed herself, she has to pay her bills just like anybody else, and she has every right to take that role, just like Denzel, just like Angela Bassett, just like all these other dark-skinned black actors that took the role of MLS people. And if you want to talk about someone replacing someone or blackwashing, it is the unambiguous dark-skinned actors that should be held accountable for taking roles that were portraying MLS people, like real people. Like Malcolm X was a real person, and he was multi-generationally mixed. He was a light-skinned black man, so that role should have been played by a light-skinned man, by the standards that the black community is setting. Again, this is not my thought process, but since they want to put it out there, I mean, hey, fair is fair. Hey, let's even the playing field. I mean, let's talk about that on all sides then. It doesn't just, oh, well, it's beneficial for one side and then the other side's supposed to shut up and get back and stand back and let dark-skinned people just take all the roles. That's not fair. So that's all I have to say. That was my little rant about Amandla Stenbeck's backlash. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I love you guys so much. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the video and to the channel, and I will see you guys next time.